Hey team, how we doing? I wanted to do a quick video on the easiest beginner corals that you can start with. You just got into saltwater. Um, Most of these in this BioCube are very easy beginner corals. Um, Honestly, if you just set the tank up right and you focus on the main parameters, temperature, salinity, and you just want to be as stable as possible when it comes to salinity and temperature. When you're doing water changes, you want to be careful. So I have probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, roughly 11 or 12 corals in this tank that, I'm not counting, like 11 species or 11 or 12 species of coral in this tank. There's a lot of, some are starting to split, some are, dropping babies or whatever, but these are just my recommendations. And I'm still a beginner, I'm still a starter. I don't have any crazy stuff. Mostly soft corals. I have a couple LPS corals. I'm not sure if I'm going to get into SPS corals. I just don't. There's very few out there that I really like. But I like the LPS corals, like torch corals, hammer corals, frog spawn, those kind of meatier, large polyp corals. But, yeah, so we could just jump into it. I got zoanthids in this tank. I have, so don't mind the tank, it's a little bit dirty right now, as in the glass. But we got some mushrooms on the bottom. This is my favorite. This is a green hairy mushroom. And this was my third coral, actually. And it was a lot bigger. It shrunk up. I think the pistol shrimp that I have in here buried this coral and kind of messed it up, but it's starting to open back up and look really nice. You can see back there, there's my hammer coral. That's a gold tip hammer coral. And all the way back there, that bushy one is a Kenya tree coral. And on the back, you can see some green star polyps, as well as a leather toadstool. And here's another LPS right up here. This is a candy cane. I don't know the exact specific names, but you get what I'm trying to say. These are very simple. I've had all of these, and I have not had a coral die on me yet. I did have some, like, little baby mushrooms. It was like a handful of, like, the smallest mushrooms you can get. And I put them in the tank, and my pistol shrimp ended up burying them. I should have known, I should have watched it better, but he just buried them, and then I couldn't find them, and yeah. But every coral I've bought, knock on wood, has not died. I've gotten, you could say lucky, but I just set this tank up correctly, and I watch things, and yeah, you just gotta, not like bond with your tank, but you gotta know. That's like another thing with these corals, is that you don't want to kind of, like, say you see one coral that's kind of like, dying, or it's just closed up, and you start to panic and you start changing this and this and that. You got to think of the other corals that you have in the tank. If you don't have any other corals in the tank, then that's good. You could start experimenting, with moving it around slowly. You don't want to, have it all the way on the top of the tank and then move it all the way down, and then move it side to side. You want to kind of move it slowly, see what the coral likes. Most of these soft corals are pretty hardy when it comes to light and flow. And this is a basic LED BioCube, and it does perfectly with all these corals. Even the gold tip hammer coral that I have back there, I've had that for about, I'd say, a month maybe. And the pistol shrimp knocked it over like 2 or 3 times. It was up against my Kenya tree coral. Both of them fell at the same time while I was on a trip, and they were kind of stinging each other. And I came back, and the hammer coral looked perfectly fine. It was just the Kenya tree coral had a little bit of Some polyps you could see were stung and starting to die, but I split them up again. I got them nice and tucked on their own rock, nice and glued down, and they've been pretty happy. So yeah, I'd say number one are zoanthids. They're very, very simple, very flexible. They're very, you know, you don't need to really have crazy parameters and, you know, dosing this and that. When I got into saltwater again, I did want to experiment with corals, but I didn't want to have the worry about, you know, chasing a parameter and, you know, coming home every day and just dosing and testing and freaking out and kind of, you know, just worrying about it all day. I wanted to enjoy it, and I figured out a way that is, I mean, for me, okay. In the long term, we're gonna see how it goes, but you're gonna have a lot of people ticked off saying that, you know, it needs this and this, you need to dose this, and those corals are gonna die. That's all I've been hearing, but they've been growing, and they have been, I mean, as happy as can be. And I kind of love hearing that stuff, because it's like, who are, you know, it's my money, it's my time. And not to say that I'm a know-it-all or know what I'm doing, but it is my money and my time. And you know, not that I don't care if they die, it's just, it's my worry, it's my money. And you know, I know a little bit, if I have been keeping them alive for, I mean, since I got them. Like, the first zoanthid that I got had 4 heads on it. It now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads on the zoanthid. It doubled. And I started this in the middle of February when I turned 20. And I've been very, very grateful. This tank has been great. I wish I could show you guys a little bit more up close. But the glass is a little bit dirty, like I said. I'll do a clip at the end showing them all up close, but this is my cleaner shrimp. He's very, he has a good personality. It's so funny, because I'll go in the tank and I'll move some stuff around, and he's jumping on my hand. This is my pistol shrimp and goby pair. That's the only fish I have in this tank, is that goby. He's pretty cool. That's a yellow spot goby. I had a orange spot goby, but no, what was it called? I don't think it's called orange spot, but it had orange spots. Maybe he's the orange spot. I don't know. I got the wrong goby. It didn't pair up with the pistol shrimp. I didn't even know. So that ended up not working out, but I got this guy instead. And yeah, it's been perfect. Other than the pistol shrimp just digging everywhere and tearing up the tank. That's why this part looks like a mountain, but it's whatever. I love them. They're cool. But if you want corals on the sand, do not get a pistol shrimp. He's going to bury them. He's going to grab them and bring them into his home. He's going to tear them up. He's going to do whatever. So keep them glued down up on the rock area, up on the rockscape, and you should be perfectly fine. Second would be Rhodactis mushrooms. I have 4 different mushrooms in this tank. They're gorgeous. I absolutely love mushrooms. They're very beautiful. They're just like zoanthids. They come in every different color on the spectrum. Very good price. Same thing with zoanthids. Every store is different. Every website is different, but overall, zoanthids are relatively cheap. Same thing with mushrooms. Very simple coral. I tried a few different things. I tried them on my sand bed with very low light, very low flow, but it was a little bit too little flow, which didn't really work out. So I have them up on the rockscape now. They got a little bit more light, a little bit more flow, and they seem to be happy there. They have been growing, and their colors look great. It just turned to night. I really like this BioCube. it's a nice, you know, a lot of people say like the smaller tanks aren't good for beginners because of the, you know, small amount of water, harder to keep stable and whatnot. But I mean, I do a gallon water change every week or every 2 weeks. And I started this tank out with Instant Ocean, um, just the basic salt. And I recently just started doing water changes with the reef crystals, which have a little bit more elements and whatnot. But I just use tap water. And I mean, you can come at me or attack me, but I mean, everyone's water is kind of different, that's for sure. But with my water, it's been, everything has been going pretty good. I use basic tap water. I try to get the temperature very, you know, as close as I can to the tank temperature, but then again, it's just a gallon, so it's not really that crazy. But yeah. And green star polyps are extremely easy. I had a problem with them, and Aptasia was growing on the green star polyp. It was stinging it. It was closed for like a week, and I didn't even know it or know why. And I figured out there was a little baby Aptasia growing on it. So I got a peppermint shrimp to take care of it. He ate every little bit of Aptasia, and just recently he passed, but I can't find his body. So I would blame that on the pistol shrimp or the cleaner shrimp. The cleaner shrimp was going at him, I seen in the tank, and it's, you know, a smaller tank, so they can't have their own territory and whatnot. That's on me. But he took care of my problem. I'm very grateful for that, but he ended up just disappearing. I don't know where he could be. But yeah, let's get back into the corals. Toadstool leather is very easy. Further down the line, when you know you have established bacteria in the tank, it's as simple as just getting actual live rock from your fish store that's been running in water, that's been growing bacteria, that has copepods and whatnot. I didn't add a single copepod or any little microorganism in this tank, and my glass is covered with them, like absolutely covered with them. They go more on the glass when there's more algae. As of right now, there is more algae, but I didn't add a single, I didn't even cycle the tank. I cycled it with the live rock. And I mean, look at this. I have a bunch of corals. I mean, I never thought that I would be able to keep that hammer coral, but it's just been growing. It's been happy. Then again, I don't dose anything, and I mean, it's just been great. I'm very grateful. Don't overthink these things when you're getting into this hobby. Don't think that you can't do something just because other people are telling you. Go slow with it. Have patience. Yeah. I don't know. But mushroom corals are my favorite. I have the toadstool leather. I saved that toadstool leather from Petco. It was literally like dying with no polyps. There was no polyps or anything. It was just dying. And I bought it, and look at it now. It has an insane amount of polyps. It's been growing and growing and growing. The Kenya tree coral turned into a bush. And I'm very grateful for this tank. So depends on what kind of tank, what tank size you have. And you know, if you want to keep more LPS corals and, you know, SPS and things of that nature, I mean, you're gonna have to do the dosing and the testing and stuff like that. But just beginner LPS corals are like I listed, hammer corals. I would say the frog spawn. Torch corals seem to be a little bit tougher. I haven't tried anything with those. That's definitely in the future, though. I set up another tank, which is in my video. I actually made a video about me setting it up, walking you guys through how I set that tank up. And I set it up the same way I set up this tank. That one's just going to be different because it's going to be dosing and testing, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I still don't really want to put in all that worrying and all that time you know, the crazy. I'm pretty happy with these soft corals. They're still gorgeous to look at, and I run the lights for about 8 hours a day. So yeah, I would just get yourself a zoanthid or a little piece of green star polyps. If those can grow, you can grow mushrooms. If you got the mushrooms that can grow, you know, maybe you can get into some LPS, perhaps. But with the LPS, you need to make sure that you are doing the water changes with something like the instant ocean reef crystals, something with elements, and for feeding, I do once a week phytoplankton. I have this little, what is this called? Not a turkey baster, a droplet, or yeah, a dropper. I don't know. I use that to spot feed. I turn off the pump in the tank, and I just leave it at that. And then I do a little bit of mysis shrimp. When I do the mysis shrimp, the cleaner shrimp loves it, the goby obviously eats it, and the pistol shrimp love it. But I also give some to the bigger mushrooms in the tank and the candy cane coral. The candy cane coral literally just has a mouth and it just eats. I'll put it on top, and now with this cleaner shrimp, the cleaner shrimp likes to go up there and steal it from him, from the coral. So you gotta watch that. But yeah, those LPS corals, it's so cool to just watch them. I really want some acans or stuff like that, but right now I'm pretty happy with everything I got. Like, just look at these mushrooms that I got right here. It's a little bit I have a little orange filter for you guys so you guys can see the true colors of it. Where'd I put it? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Right here. I'm using my front camera because I don't want to edit this video. You can't really see because of the algae on the tank, but it's gorgeous. Look at that green hairy mushroom. So there's a lot of gorgeous corals that you can have as a beginner. My tank is full of them. If I can do it, you can do it. It's very simple. It's not as hard as you think. Don't let other people on the internet tell you that you can't, because I never was gonna get a hammer coral, but I seen one on sale and I was like, you know, let's just try it. And it's been working out. Obviously they can grow more and flourish more, you know, with dosing and whatnot, but if it's living and it's growing a tad bit, I'd say you're fine. You know, versus like fish, you know, then you want to feed the fish. You want them to grow to their full size, and I don't know, it depends on what, you know, hierarchy you have with the corals. They are animals, so, but corals are crazy. Like I've learned a decent amount. I'm sure there's so much more to learn, but like how they grow, how they reproduce, and you know how long they live is just nuts to me. So, but yeah, there's a lot of corals that you can have in the tank. Start off with some easy corals like I listed, and you will be fine. You can have a gorgeous tank like this. And with my fish store, it's not that expensive. I do have a little addiction with the corals now, so be cautious of the addiction, the coral addiction. But it's really not that crazy. Just go slow with it and you'll be happy.